You have been told a comforting lie your entire life. The lie is that poverty is a circumstance, that people are poor because they were born in the wrong place, because they did not have the right opportunities, because the system is rigged against them. And while there is truth in all of those things, there is a deeper truth that no one wants to talk about. The deeper truth is that most people stay poor without realizing it because their minds are programmed for poverty. Not because they are lazy, not because they are stupid, not because they lack ambition, but because their brains have been wired to make decisions that keep them exactly where they are. And the most terrifying part is that they do not even notice it happening. They wake up every morning, go to work, pay their bills, buy their groceries, and feel like they are doing everything right. But they are running on a treadmill that is moving faster than they are. They are working harder and falling further behind. They are making the same choices that their parents made, that their grandparents made, that their neighbors are making right now, and they are wondering why nothing ever changes. The answer is not in their circumstances. The answer is in their minds. And until they look there, they will never escape. Let me take you inside the mind of someone who is trapped in this cycle without knowing it. Her name is Maria. Maria is a single mother in Houston, Texas. She works 40 hours a week as a medical assistant. She earns $38,000 a year. She is exhausted, stressed, and constantly worried about money. She does everything she is supposed to do. She pays her bills on time, she clips coupons, she buys generic brands, she never splurges on anything, and she is still broke. Every month, she runs out of money before she runs out of month. She has no savings, she has no retirement fund, she has no safety net. If her car breaks down, she is in crisis. If her child gets sick, she is in crisis. If she misses one paycheck, she is in crisis, and she does not understand why. She does not understand why she works so hard and has nothing to show for it. So we sat down and looked at her financial life, and what we found was not a lack of effort. What we found was a mind that had been trained to think small. Maria had been told her entire life that she was not smart enough to invest, that the stock market was for rich people, that real estate was out of her reach, that she should just focus on paying her bills and surviving. She had internalized those messages so deeply that she never even considered the possibility of building wealth. She never asked the question, "What if I could?" She only asked the question, "How do I survive?" And that question, asked every day for years, had created a cage around her mind that she could not see.
Now, let me show you the hidden mechanism that keeps people like Maria trapped. It is called the scarcity mindset. When your brain perceives that resources are limited, it goes into survival mode. It narrows your focus. It makes you hyper-aware of immediate threats and blind to long-term opportunities. It makes you risk-averse, even when taking a risk is the only way forward. It makes you hold on to money instead of investing it, even when holding on to money is slowly destroying your purchasing power. It makes you choose the certain small thing over the uncertain big thing, even when the uncertain big thing has a higher expected value. The scarcity mindset is not a character flaw. It is a biological response to perceived threat. But it becomes a trap when the threat is not real. Maria was not in physical danger. She was not going to starve. She was not going to be homeless. But her brain acted as if she was, and that response kept her making decisions that reinforced her poverty. She refused to invest in a certification that would have raised her income by $15,000 a year because she was afraid of the $4,000 cost. She refused to buy a duplex with an FHA loan because she was afraid of being a landlord. She refused to open a retirement account because she was afraid of locking away money she might need. Every single refusal was a refusal of opportunity, and every refusal kept her exactly where she was. Let me give you another example that will make this real. James is a construction foreman in Atlanta. He makes $72,000 a year. He's married and has 2 children. He's not poor by any objective measure. But James has no savings, he has no investments, he has no plan, and he has no idea why. Every time James gets a raise, his lifestyle expands to match it. He buys a better car, he takes a nicer vacation, he eats out more often. He never saves the difference. He never invests the difference. He never builds anything with the difference. He simply spends it. And he's not alone. This is the most common pattern in America. It is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the single greatest destroyer of wealth in the middle class. The mechanism is psychological, not financial. When James gets a raise, his brain recalibrates its sense of normal. The new salary becomes the baseline. The old lifestyle becomes unacceptable. He feels that he deserves better. He feels that he has earned it, and he spends accordingly. He never stops to ask whether he wants to be a consumer or an owner. He never stops to ask whether he is building wealth or burning it. He just spends. And he keeps spending until he's broke again at a higher income level. That is the trap. That is how people stay poor without realizing it. They are not poor because they do not earn enough. They are poor because they spend everything they earn, and they never break the cycle.
Now, I need to tell you something that will make you deeply uncomfortable. The system is designed to keep you in this cycle. The credit card companies want you to spend more than you earn. The banks want you to pay interest. The advertisers want you to feel inadequate. The retailers want you to buy things you do not need. The entire consumer economy is built on the assumption that you will not save, that you will not invest, that you will not build wealth. And they have spent billions of dollars studying how to keep you trapped. They know exactly which emotions trigger your spending. They know exactly which images make you feel insecure. They know exactly which words make you reach for your wallet. And they are using that knowledge against you every single day. The wealthy understand this. They do not watch commercials. They do not follow influencers. They do not care about luxury brands. They know that these things are not signs of success. They are signs of surrender. They are signs that you have allowed someone else to define your worth. The poor and the middle class do not understand this. They walk into the trap every day, believing they are making free choices, when in reality they are responding to stimuli designed to control them. Here is the psychological shift that will break the cycle. You need to stop seeing yourself as a consumer and start seeing yourself as an owner. A consumer spends money. An owner builds assets. A consumer trades time for money. An owner trades money for more money. A consumer lives paycheck to paycheck. An owner lives on the income from what they own. The difference is not in your bank account. The difference is in your identity. The wealthy do not think of themselves as consumers. They think of themselves as builders. They think of themselves as investors. They think of themselves as owners. And that identity shapes every decision they make. When they get a raise, they ask, how much of this can I invest, not what can I buy? When they have extra cash, they ask, what asset can I acquire, not what experience can I enjoy? When they see a sale, they ask, is this a good investment, not is this a good deal? The identity comes first, the behavior follows, and the wealth
follows the behavior. You cannot change your financial situation until you change your financial identity. You cannot escape poverty until you stop thinking like a poor person. And that is not an insult. That is an invitation to transformation. Let me give you the actionable system that will break the cycle of poverty thinking. Step 1. Conduct a poverty audit. Write down every single belief you have about money. Where did it come from? Who taught it to you? Is it true? Is it serving you? Most of your beliefs about money are not yours. They are inherited from your parents, from your culture, from your environment. They are outdated, they are limiting, and they are keeping you poor. Step 2. Reframe every financial decision as an investment decision. Every dollar you spend is a vote for the future you want. When you spend on something that does not build your wealth, you are voting for a future of financial struggle. When you spend on something that builds your wealth, you are voting for a future of financial freedom. There is no neutral spending. Every dollar goes somewhere. Make sure it is going where you want it to go. Step 3, and this is the master key. Start thinking in decades, not days. The poor think about this week. The wealthy think about this decade. The poor ask, what do I need right now? The wealthy ask, what will I need in 10 years? That shift in time horizon changes everything. It changes what you buy. It changes what you save. It changes what you invest in. It changes how you live. And it is available to you right now, regardless of how much money you have. Here is the final truth that will either set you free or haunt you for the rest of your life. Most people stay poor without realizing it because they never look at their own minds. They blame the economy. They blame the government. They blame their boss. They blame their luck. They blame everything except themselves. And that blaming is the very thing that keeps them trapped. You cannot change what you do not see. You cannot fix what you do not acknowledge. You cannot escape a cage you do not know exists. The cage exists. It is in your mind. It was built by your experiences, your environment, your culture, your fears, and it is the only thing standing between you and the life you want. The good news is that you can tear it down. You can rebuild it. You can rewire your brain. You can change your identity. You can become a builder, an owner, an investor. It will not be easy. It will require you to face uncomfortable truths. It will require you to let go of beliefs that have been with you since childhood. But it is possible. It is the most important work you will ever do, and it is the only work that will ever set you free. Start today, not tomorrow, not next month, today, because the only thing worse than being poor is being poor and not knowing why.